Next theorem is projection theorem. So what is the statement of the projection theorem? If M is closed subspace of a Hilbert space H, then H is equal to M direct sum orthogonal complement of M. Now this is my result to prove the projection theorem. So proof. So in order to prove this theorem, we are required to show that number one. So we are required to show that number one, H is equal to M plus orthogonal complement of M. Number two, M intersection orthogonal complement consisting only zero elements. So I would like to prove number one and number two. So what is the given part? Given part, if this H is a Hilbert space, so this H is a Hilbert space, and M is a, this M, which is part of this, which is a closed subspace of H. So this is a closed subspace of H. Now, what is the orthogonal complement? This. So this is a all vector X belongs to H such that this X is perpendicular to M, the inner product of XY equal to 0 for every Y belongs to M. So we already proved that this orthogonal complement is non-empty as well as it is a closed subspace of H. So we already proved that this is again a closed subspace of a Hilbert space H, of a Hilbert space H. So it is a closed subspace of a Hilbert space H. Now I would like to prove number one and number two. So first I will prove the M intersection orthogonal complement consisting only zero element. So let X is some vector belongs to M and its orthogonal complement. So from this X belongs to M and X belongs to its orthogonal complement of M. Now X is a vector belongs to M and X is a vector belongs to orthogonal complement of M. So it implies this X vector is perpendicular to X because M and its orthogonal complement are perpendicular. So it implies in the next step inner product of X comma X which is equal to 0 for every X belongs to M, for every X belongs to H. So we would remove this part. So it means X inner product X is equal to 0. So it implies norm of X equal to 0, which is equal to norm of X equal to 0. It implies this X vector is equal to 0. So I take X from this part and this X is equal to 0. So it means this intersection consisting only one vector, which is a zero vector. So this is a proof of the result number 2. Now result number 1. So to prove the result number 1, I take n is equal to m plus orthogonal complement of m. Now it is a closed, and this is a closed, then the total sum of two closed subspace is again a closed subspace of a Hilbert space of a Hilbert space H. So this M is closed, this M orthogonal complement is closed, so their sum is also closed subspace of a Hilbert space H. So if it is a closed, now from this what we get, this M is contained in N also orthogonal complement of N is also part of N because it is a sum of these two terms. So from this, taking orthogonal complement on both sides, so this is N orthogonal complement is part of orthogonal complement of M, and here N orthogonal complement, which is a part of orthogonal complement and again orthogonal complement. So this is a M double orthogonal complement. So since this M is a closed, so this value is equal to M. So from this we get orthogonal complement is part of, we get orthogonal complement is subset of M, and orthogonal complement of N is subset of orthogonal complement of M. So from this it implies its orthogonal complement, which is part of M and its orthogonal complement. So what is this? It is a 0. If it is 0, so N orthogonal complement, which is equal to only 0 vector, so it implies taking its another orthogonal complement. So this orthogonal complement, so which is a orthogonal complement of 0. So it implies this value is equal to N. So what is the orthogonal complement of 0? Which is total set, total Hilbert space H. Now what is the value of N? N is M plus orthogonal complement of M. So it implies H is equal to M plus orthogonal complement of M. So which prove result number 1. So which prove result number 1. So from result number 1 and from result number 2, we get H is a direct sum of M and its orthogonal complement. So we prove this result. So this is called a projection theorem. So which is called a projection theorem. So this is very important and expected for examination. Now after doing this theorem, so what is my next result is that is called a Bessel inequality. So this is very important result. So projection theorem is also very important, and this is Bessel inequality, which is also very important. So first, what is the statement of unit normal vector? Unit normal vector whose norm is equal to 1. So first is unit or normal vector. So this is unit or normal vector. So if H is a Hilbert space, so let H be a Hilbert space, any vector if X is any vector belongs to H such that norm of X equal to 1, then X is said to be unit or normal vectors. Unit or normal vector. So this is a definition of unit and normal vector. Now next is orthonormal vector. Orthonormal vector. So in this case, these are orthogonal and normal. Now what is the statement? So a non-empty subset, a non-empty subset of a Hilbert space, which is EI of a Hilbert space H is said to be orthonormal set. Orthonormal set if it satisfies two conditions. One is orthogonal and second is whose norm is equal to 1. So condition number 1. So norm of EI should be equal to 1 for every I. Means every vector is a unit vector or normal vector. Number 2, EI is perpendicular to EJ for every I is not equal to J. So it means every vector is orthogonal to any other vectors. So from this, what we get? From statement number 1, we get this square is equal to 1. So it means inner product EI is equal to 1. And from 2, we get inner product EJ equal to 0 if I is not equal to J. Now combining the result. So when we combine the result, so EI inner product EJ, so this value is equal to 0 and 1 if I is equal to J, if I is equal to J, and if I is not equal to J, then it is a 0. So this is a definition of orthonormal sequence या orthonormal set. So orthonormal sequence satisfy this condition. Now next result, which is called a Bessel's inequality. So Bessel inequality for a finite orthonormal set. Finite orthonormal set. Bessel inequality for a finite orthonormal set. So what is the statement? Let E1, E2, so on up to En. So this is a finite be a finite orthonormal set in a Hilbert space H. Orthonormal set in a Hilbert space H, and if X is some vector belongs to H, so then this inequality is called a Bessel inequality for finite orthonormal set. Inner product xei raised to power 2. I is running from 1 to n, so which is less than norm of x square, so which is equation number 1. Further, the other condition is this x minus summation of x I is running from 1 to n perpendicular to vector Ej for each j. So it is a second part of the Bessel inequality. So the question is state and prove Bessel inequality for a finite orthonormal set. So that is my question. State and prove finite Bessel inequality for a finite orthonormal set. Now proof of this result. So I take a some vector y which is equal to x minus summation of x ei into ei, where I is running from 1 to n. So I take this vector since H is Hilbert space. So clearly this y belongs to H. Why? Because H is a Hilbert space, it is a subspace, it is a vector space. So it satisfies this vector belongs to H. Now norm of y 0 is, so what is a norm of y raised to power 2? So this is a inner product of x minus summation of x I is running from 1 to n x minus summation of x ei, and this is I am taking here j variable. J is running from 1 to n. So I will apply the property of inner product. Now, this to differentiate these two vectors, so I just replace here j I by j. So that is a variable, j is running from 1 to n. So that are the same terms. Now I take x, now taking inner product with first this and then with this. So just see that. So this value will become x comma x when I am taking with this. Now taking with this, so this entire is treated as alpha on the second part. So this will be minus summation of x e j conjugate inner product x e j, and j is running from 1 to n. So this is in conjugate because it is related with second term. Now from this, so this is a minus. Now this alpha is with first part. So summation of I running from 1 to n x ei, and this is a inner product ei comma x, this values. So this is the inner product with this. First I am taking the first term and taking the inner product with this term. Now taking inner product with this, so this will become minus into minus plus. So here I have two summation. One is I running from 1 to n. Second is j running from 1 to n. Now this is from first part. So this is a simple x ei, and this is from second part. So this is the x ej conjugate, and after that it is the inner product ei comma ej, this values. So this is norm of y raised to power. Now this can be written as, because it is a eij, so first this term and this term, this conjugate, this is simple product is modulus raised to power 2. So this term can be written as modulus of x e raised to power x e raised ej, this is modulus raised to power 2. Now in the first step, first replace x and ei, then we will get in term in conjugate. So in the first step I will write it as x comma ei and its conjugate. In the second step when we multiply, so this will become a modulus of this raised to power 2, and this term will be finished. So this term will be finished and this product will be as this values. Now here, now I am taking the expression of j, this j, the I. So I is running from 1 to n. So first I taking 1. So this term will be 0, 2, this term will be 0, 3, this term will be 0, and this will be 1 when I equal to j. When I will equal to j, so this term will be 1. So it means it means this summation will be removed, this summation will be removed, and this will be equal to 1, so also it will be removed, and I will be converted as a G. So this is converted as a G. Now this product is again written as modulus of this whole square, and this is removed. So this term is removed. So we get these values 1, 2, this and this. 2 negative and 1 positive. Because there is no difference when I is running from 1 to n, the j is running from 1 to n. So they are the same series. So one series, if I used, so this series is cancelled with this term. So this series is cancelled with this term. This is a value of norm of y whole square. And again, this inner product can be written as norm of x raised to power whole square. So this is a norm of x raised to power whole square. So we get only 1 and 1, two values and norm of y whole square. So since norm of y, which is whole square, is always greater than equal to 0, so it implies norm of x whole square minus summation of I running from 1 to n x e I raised to power 2. So this is greater than equal to 0. So from this it implies summation of I. From this it implies summation of this x e I and this inner product raised to power 2, where I is running from 1 to n. So this is less than equal to norm of x raised to power 2. So this is a Bessel inequality for a finite orthonormal set. Now second part, this x minus summation of this value is perpendicular to Ej for each j. Now I am taking the inner product x minus summation of x ei, and this is ei. I is running from 1 to n. So this is inner product with ej. So for every j, so again I take the inner product x with this. So this will become a, first I am taking the inner product. So this is x comma ej and minus this value summation of x comma ei inner product ei comma ej, and where I is running from 1 to n, this values. Now taking I is running from 1 to n, so this inner product will be 0, and when I equal to j, this inner product will be 1. So what we get? We get x comma ej minus x comma ej, this is equal to 0 for every j. If this is equal to 0, so this inner product is 0. It means x minus summation of inner product x ei, where I is running from 1 to n. So this is perpendicular to ej for each j. So this is a Bessel inequality for finite orthonormal set. So these are very important.